Good morning, good afternoon. This is the RTP, Rarely Typical Players podcast. We are back with another RPG Maker MZ title called Soul Survivor by Runelight Owl. Those who are in the RPG Maker community and the discourse and all that good stuff, you may run across this individual as Moogle Rampage. So these individuals are the same people. All right. So just like every week, we get a game to play and we get to spend a whole week with the game that we played. And we will review the game after playing it. And today is that day where we gather once again to talk about the game that we played for a week. Soul Survivor, Trials of the Goddess by Runelight Owl is what you would call a survival 8-bit roguelite RPG with rough mechanics. When I say rough mechanics, I mean like it could be brutal or it could be a piece of cake. Depends on the player and their play style. So me, Simple Gaming, and Psychronic Games were the lucky individuals that had a chance to spend a week with this project, and we are here to talk about it. So, without further ado, let's get into the podcast. All right. So, after spending, well, you may see my other playthroughs of this game, but this is different. Like, I noticed a lot of mechanics and events in this version are different than the previous versions. And this leads to our first topic in the podcast, which we always talk about: the story. What do we think about the story when we play a specific game? And today, Soul Survivor Trials of the Goddess. Before, it didn't really have a story. It just had a little event here and there. But this one, it now has a full-blown story. So those who played the game in the past, a lot of changes has been made, and we have a solid story. So we're just going to take a few moments and talk about the story, reflect what we think, what we learned about the game. Do we understand what's going on? Or is it one of these type of games where we got to play over and over and over again, multiple playthroughs to actually grasp the story? So we're going to start with the resident German, Simple Gaming.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so the story is still like somewhat basic, right? As you would have expected from like a roguelike game. Roguelike games are not the story heaviest games out there, right? You get a premise and that's mostly it for the most part. Like in this game you also get a premise, like the goddess sacrificed herself to seal some form of evil, and now every year or so somebody must be sacrificed to keep the seal on that evil, and you are some chosen one who tries to eliminate that evil so people don't have to be sacrificed anymore. That's like the premise of the game. But there's also like a plot twist happening, which you will encounter during the game. So for what it is, it's a pretty good story. It's like it's basic, but it makes sense and it's there, and the plot twist makes it more interesting than just having the base premise and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think the story is good. The story is fitting for what type of game it is. Like if it was like a full RPG, then it would be a bit too basic. But for this type of game, it's perfect.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I thought that the story was, it was. I would just call it basic. It kind of didn't seem like a detailed or deep story, but it's kind of like it gives you the premise, it gives you the goal, and you're on your way. Now, I don't know. I didn't play long enough to encounter the plot twist, so I'm interested in hearing about that. But I did. I ended up playing as a monk, and I did find that I was able to. The combat felt pretty balanced. But the story though, it just seems really basic. It's kind of like Zelda, right? Where like the Zelda doesn't have like a very like a very intense story, but it gives you a premise and you are on your way, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
All right, so I've played this game numerous times. And before the older version, you start off in this ship. With this version, we actually get to see the events of Irina, who is the goddess, who created mankind. Seal away evil. So, this game, the story is scattered. you know, like it's scattered like within lore. Like when you're like exploring, you know, you could run across different lores that give you different backstories of the game. But in straightforward, you know, from beginning to end, you know, I agree with Super Game. It's like your basic you know, God versus God, good versus evil concept. Then, you know, good is sealed, well, evil gets sealed away. Then you got a hero who must change things and, you know, go on a journey, and you discover, you know, you discover different events in different parts in the story, and it just unfolds. In this game, a lot could be missed. Like the backstory is like very important to like really get a grasp, because the game isn't like set on like a narrow path. Like the story is given to you like how most games are. Even with the Legend of Zelda, you're going to get the full story. You're going to get pretty much 90% of the lore, you know, other than the side quests, you know, which could give you different parts of the story, or, you know, just side story, like supporting stories, whatever. But this game is, it's a lot of lore scattered abroad, the different you know, the areas that you go through. You know, each area, each level is considered as an area, and once you progress, you know, you could get different bits and pieces of lore to like kind of form the story. So I don't even know if I found all the lore. You know, maybe the developer should, you know, put like a tracking for different lores that you find. But yeah, I agree with Super Game on this one. The story is like, you know, your classic hero saved the world from the evil god. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I mean, you also get these little cutscenes in between the areas. When you finish a chapter, you get the cutscene that's also going to tell you a little bit more of the story and what happens, and the betrayal and whatnot. So I think it's fitting. Like, for this type of game, there doesn't need to be more story. That's not the type of game it is. Like, this is clearly focused on gameplay and player choices around what items you take, what builds you're gonna make, and stuff like that. It's not so much centered around story. The story doesn't need to be that deep and doesn't need to be in your face. You can just pick this up and not give a shit about the story, and you're still gonna have a good time because the gameplay is king here.
yeah, I agree. So, and to still support the story topic, I know there's 3 goddesses. There's a good goddess, Irenia. You know, that's we're the servant of Irenia. You know, we're the chosen one. We're her vessel. Then there's 2 other ones, Hikari and Imeldis. I believe that's what their name. Hikari and Imeldis. They were the banished goddess. So correct me if I'm wrong, because in a couple cutscenes you'll see like the guy surrender. Like, whenever you beat the area, you get a cutscene with a guy named Surrender, who's it seems like they're exploring the areas that you explored, and they seeing the aftermath damage that you done. Like, you know, who, you know, they're talking about you, and the animals the beasts come together, and the beast, he talked to the beast. He said, well, I'm not here to destroy you. I'm here to get rid of the curse, to restore order, and the animals don't believe them and stuff like that. So it's like the enemies that we fight is who he befriended. You know what I mean? So they feel like the animals feel like, you know, we are serving the betrayed goddess. So it seems like Irenia betrayed her sisters. You know,
yeah, that's what they tell you at least. You know, I didn't finish the game yet. I think there are two endings to this game. Like there's an ending and a true ending, as far as I know, or there's gonna be. I don't know if that's in yet. But yeah, from the looks of it, like the monsters seem to support like one or the other goddess of the two other goddesses that are available.
yeah,
The bosses spoke of one only though, so that's a bit confusing. Like one of the bosses had a conversation. They said there's only one worthy one, so they're not really supporting both of them. It seems like they're either supporting the evil guy that got sealed away, or just one of the abandoned sisters.
yeah.
They never speak of worshipping both of them. So yeah, there is a certain deepness to the story and to the plot twist too. So it's definitely there.
Yeah.
And what was the plot twist?
I don't know yet. I just reached like the last act, but so far from what I gathered is like Irenia is apparently not the good goddess she appears to be in the beginning. Like she somehow betrayed her two sisters or something, and it's all not as it appears to be. But I didn't get a reveal yet, and I don't know if D7 got a reveal. I don't know if the true ending is even in the demo yet. I don't know.
I beat the game. I just beat it like I say about an hour ago. And
I wasn't fast enough. Like I started the game when I got home from school, and I played until 5 minutes before the stream. But yeah,
the problem,
I only could get to the last last area.
The problem is you're given choice dialogues. So I don't know if the choice dialogue affected the ending.
Where did you get choice dialogue?
When you before you fight the last boss, you know.
Oh, so right at the end. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see any.
Yeah, you get like several different choices, and I don't know if that means anything. Like you have choice.
Probably.
You have
Google.
You have choices, you know, to stand up for your goddess. You know, you're going to honor her regardless of what the truth is. You know, if the goddess is in the wrong, you're not going to question her. You're just going to do what she wants you to do. It sets you out to do. You know, it's one of those type things. But it seemed like the ending I got, you know, they call it a hero's welcome. You know, but he decided not to tell the people the truth. It wouldn't matter anyway if they knew the truth, you know, of the goddess' intentions or the other goddesses. So he decided not to tell the people and just, you know, let them live life as, you know, they should live their life. But yeah, I mean, if it's a multiple ending, then maybe a second playthrough is warranted. Maybe you gotta beat the game on New Game Plus. I don't know. You know,
yeah, we don't know yet.
Yeah, I really don't know. I really don't know. So the story is like one of those type games. Like I would say it's on the same verge of Dark Souls. You know, because Dark Souls got a lot of cryptic meaning behind in their story, like dealing with the bosses, dealing with certain characters. You like, who the heck is this person? Or, you know, what's the backstory on this person? It kind of feel like that, like, because you don't really get a lot of backstory on the goddesses or what they actually serve. You know what I mean? There's still like a mystery. You know, there's the goddess in blue, Irenia, because the text is in blue, and the other goddess is in red. You know, it could mean they was actually good, or they were goddess of light, or goddess of evil, or goddess of darkness. It's really hard to tell. It's really hard to say, especially playing the game like this, where your main focus is trying to survive. You know what I mean? That's pretty much it. You're trying to survive.
I probably wouldn't compare it to Dark Souls, because Dark Souls lore runs really fucking deep. Like, if you dig enough, you will find so much lore and story. You'll never see the end of it. I would probably compare it more to, like, as Psychronic said, I would compare it more to a Zelda game, where there is lore and you can dig a little and find like theories and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But I don't think Souls of Other story runs as deep as like a Dark Souls lore does. I don't think that's even possible for a single guy to do. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong.
Any thoughts, Psychronic?
About the story, no. But one thing that I did find funny about this game, or I enjoyed it, was it really did feel like I was a little kid playing the NES or something. Like the first Nintendo. Like the vibe felt very much like that late '80s, early '90s type of game.
Yeah.
The music, the graphics. I mean, like, it's pretty. It like on the surface, it looks pretty primitive, but it's actually decently fun to play. I did die at one point, but I did make it to like the mountains or something. But I wanted to play a little longer, but my schedule got kind of messed up this week. But yeah, it felt like I was on the old Nintendo system.
Yeah, man, Moogle really has his down. This guy can make retro games so good.
Yeah,
like he really nails it with the retro style, like no other, I believe. Like I've not played, like, even in the jam games and stuff like that, I've not seen anyone do a retro game as good as Moogle does.
Yeah,
everything just fits. The art style fits. The monster sprites fit really well. The music fits well, except for that one area that was kind of annoying, the music. But otherwise, it really feels like a game that could have been on that console.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So, let's
guess we're on the next topic now.
Yeah. So we're gonna combine these topics together. Let's focus mostly on the map. Like the map. The map is very important in this game because it serves the most important part of the game is exploring. The way the maps are, the way the player explore the map, they could find secrets, they could find, hidden items or whatever. So it's a lot of interaction with the map that you see. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. The game is clearly 8-bitish. It's clearly NES style. Other than the high res, tile set, I can see this game on a regular NES like 30 years ago. This is the type of game that ages very well, and the maps is definitely plays a vital role in this game because each player is going to play the game different.
The maps are randomized too, as far as I know. Like, you're not getting the same maps every run. Like, they're a bit randomized. Like, sometimes in area 2 you get this map, and in another one you're getting another map, but are still area 2, so it's a bit randomized. And yeah, I agree. Like, the maps, I think Moogle did use every aspect of a map you can use. Like, it's It's visually pleasing. It's used for environmental storytelling. It gives you the lore. It gives you a lot to interact. It has gameplay elements in it. Like, what more could you expect from a map?
Oh yeah. Like the map is just fun to explore because um finding like items, just like the mechanic itself, you have to find certain, well, the items is optional, but you have to fight the enemies on the map, and the placement of the enemies and the choice given to the player to fight this enemy or that enemy, is a godsend. You know what I'm saying? It's a godsend. But visually appealing, the map looks, it just enhances the gameplay. It enhances everything. It's fun to explore. It takes you back to that time where you love 8-bit games on the NES, or just retro style. So I mean, and given the fact that some maps are randomized, I do believe if the maps stay the same, they stay the same if you keep that life. You know what I mean? Like if you keep that life, that soul, then the map stays the same. But
Yeah. You need a completely new run. So
yeah.
If you're just losing a life, that's still the same run. Of course, you can also see it when you die and you start again at the beginning of the area. You don't get the descriptive text anymore. From stuff you already explored. You just get the "Do you want this item?" choice, right?
Yeah.
So it remembers that. But yeah, the maps are an essential gameplay part in this game. It's not like many other games where the map is just a map to run around and to have a world to have the player move in. The maps in this game are an essential part of the gameplay, which is rare in my opinion.
Exactly. Like everything plays a part. Like
right.
The placement of items, the placement of little quests you gotta do, everything just looks wonderful. I can't speak bad about the map. The map is good. The map is good. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So Psychronic, we didn't hear your thoughts yet about the map. What do you think about the map, my guy?
I think the maps are functional. I mean, like each map you go to each map is basically a room, and you have different things in it. You can pick 3 treasure. You can pick 3 treasures, and you have to take out 3 enemies. And figuring out which enemies you want to try to take out with what you've got. Now, when I first played the game, and it talked about like the you get 3 lives or whatever, I didn't actually know that meant that that the actual full character actually dies, and then you have to basically start over with a little bit of a boost. But yeah, I found that aspect really interesting. It brings up the tension a little bit. The fact that you just when you die, you're dead. And that's interesting. But as for the mapping, yeah, I think it's functional. It serves its purpose. Mm-hmm. It's not super elaborate, but it doesn't need to be. It serves its purpose. I guess that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, and certain parts of the map, it's unexplorable unless you have like a certain skill or attribute unlocked.
Yeah,
certain items.
Yeah,
and there's enemies guarding items too. So you gotta decide what the fuck you want to do. Like, do I want to fight this strong enemy?
Yeah,
and get the loot behind it, but maybe the loot is shit or some item you don't need in your build right now. So yeah, choices are abundant. Like every map is like super interactive with all the stuff you can find, and there's hidden areas. I don't think I found any because I suck at finding hidden shit, but there's hidden areas. There's like shopkeepers, and then there's these champion medals you can grab, which unlock permanent new starting options, basically like new characters or traits or whatever. So those are cool too. So it's a really nice mix of a roguelike that's not quite roguelike, because in roguelikes you usually don't get 3 lives, right? So usually you just die and then you start over, and maybe if it's a roguelite you get like boost options that are permanent. So it's a unique mix of like an RPG and a roguelike, which is interesting to me because I like roguelike games. Like I spent so many hours in like Dead Cells and the other roguelikes, whatever they're called. Like, damn, I like roguelike games if they're well done.
Yeah.
And this is a nice mix. Like, it's not quite as punishing as a real roguelike, but it has a lot of player choice with like the builds you can do. There's so many options you can go for. The passive skills are fantastic. Like every passive skill, none of them feel wasted in any way. Like you can feel the impact of every level up you make.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Especially if you got a specific build. Like as you can see, I started off with the mage. You know, I like magic, and you know, my 2 to go classes is the mage and the warrior. You know, you get the extra attack, because in this game you're going to need all the help you can get, all the HP, all the magic point. You're going to need it. I just felt like these classes are the choice, my go-to choice, and I think this is leading into the next topic of the podcast. Gameplay mechanics, just mechanics overall. You know what I mean? Just
it's gonna be the biggest part of the podcast.
Yeah, just starting off in the game. When you hit the start button, you're going to be presented with at least 12, probably more classes to pick. You know, you got sorcerer, you got mage, you got knights, you got, you know, you could just name it. You could name it.
You got like dark knights and monks and
monks,
wizards and
sages.
Like, there's a whole bunch of classes. And
yeah,
I know at least of one class. The goblin class is an unlockable. I don't know if there's more.
Yeah, you can unlock
a whole bunch of stuff. The only gripe I have is the menu. Like the way it's set up is there are multiple entries for the same class. You got male, female, light-skinned, and male, female, dark-skinned, basically. So you got 4 warrior listings, which are essentially the same aside from like the looks of it. I would have probably preferred if it was just one selection, like pick a warrior, and then it asks you for like a skin color and a gender afterwards, and not have like this endless list of multiple same class entries that are just visually different.
I agree. I think that's a fair assumption there.
That would make the menu a little bit less cluttered, and you wouldn't have to scroll through all of them to find out what the fuck is classes there are. So yeah, I would prefer if it just let you make a choice after picking a class like that, or something like that, because right now it's a little bit clunky.
Yeah, it's
navigating that menu.
I guess the developer wanted to create the illusion that there's a whole bunch of different classes you can pick.
I mean,
even though it's male and just female and dark skin and light skin, that's the only thing. Maybe they wanted to create that illusion, or maybe it was limitation to what they can do. But I see what you're saying. Even behind the program, you got the conditions, and what if they pick this and you got to do this.
It would be more work to do it like that, probably, instead of just having a different listing. Yeah, I get that, but like, we're here to critique a game, right? So that's definitely a valid point of critique, I would say.
Yeah. I agree with you. Because, it's longer scrolling, even for the same thing. either male and female. Maybe just show, male, female. Then just have a sub menu for their skin color or whatnot. So I agree with that. I agree. What about you, Psychronic? You agree with
Yeah, that's a very basic change that would make it look, because it looked like there was a lot of entries in that menu. Just like a very long list, which it didn't bother me too much, but I do feel like you're doing 4 for every one when you only need to do 1, like for each, like you're doing 4 separate classes for what's really 1 class.
So 4 times
the list is like 4 times as long as it needs to be.
4 times 15, so that's what 30 30 different options in the beginning. That's crazy. Nah, that's more than 30, isn't it?
60.
Good gracious.
4 times 15, my dude. What's up with your math, man? I thought your business, man.
I told you I ain't good with math, man. I tried to tell y'all on the previous. I'm not good with math. I need a calculator, and I need to use my hands. But yeah, I do agree, though. I do agree. I may be far-fetching about the amount of starting numbers, but with the champion medals, they are extra classes, so that's going to add more. But I think with the monster classes, it's just because in the older version, I did unlock a different class. I think it was a goblin or something. I think it was just a male and female. That was it. Or I think it was just one choice. So yeah. Yeah. So as you can see, guys, I mean, this game is just full of good mechanics. Like I feel like the developer did everything right. And one of the things that I do like is the leveling system. The leveling system, is basic, but it serves a great purpose. It determines if you're going to beat the game or not. You know what I'm saying?
I really liked that system too, because it did feel like every upgrade you did mattered. And it felt like you had a lot of customization of like how you want to have your hero be like geared toward, right? So, but of course in a really basic way. But I enjoyed it.
If you realize the spell learning system, to have a spell, you have to equip the spell. You can only equip 2 tomes at a time, right? So the tomes that you have equipped, those are the spells that you can cast during the battle. But let's say you got additional tomes that you don't have equipped. You could spend SP points to learn those spells permanently. So equipping tomes, you cannot learn. It won't appear on your skill learn menu. It has to be unequipped. I didn't really understand that a bit, but now you think about it,
that's easy explained. Just RPG Maker limitations.
Yeah, so you figure if you got it equipped, you should be able to learn it, whatnot, study it, but you can only learn unequipped stuff. So
well, it's because when you learn it in the skill learn menu, it's that to learn that skill requires a skill point and the presence of an item, the item you would normally equip. So it actually makes sense mechanically why you can only learn the skill when it's not equipped. But I agree that it might be a little more awkward for the player. Like I would tend to think you would be able to do it to the one you have equipped, and then from there your equipment slot opens up or for another
one. The smooth solution would be if you could just learn it as long as you have it anywhere in your inventory or equipment slot. But I guess the plugin just checks the inventory, and so yeah, that's how you gotta do it, unless you wanna rewrite parts of the plugin to also check equip slots, if that is even possible. I guess it's probably not impossible to do, but a lot of work for a minor detail. So
Yeah.
I get it.
So you couldn't have something like, if this is equipped, you'll still be able to learn it. So you have to have it in your inventory.
It depends on the plugin. Like for one, it's probably a Visual Stellar plugin, so it's obfuscated anyway, so you can't edit it.
Yeah, it is.
So what are you gonna do? How do you change the plugin that code is obfuscated to check for equipment slots? How are you gonna do that?
Well, you could. Can't you? Yeah, but it would be kind of a pain in the ass checking equipment with the eventing system, and then unequip, and then check, and then re-equip what was unequipped.
That would be major pain. Like it's not impossible code-wise, but maybe he would have to check up with Visual Stellar if they can implement that or not. I don't know, but it's a really minor, like the jank detail. It's there, but it's not really a huge headache to deal with.
No, once you figure it out, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I noticed in this game, compared to the older versions, see, this is why it's good to be a streamer, because you get to try all different types of games in their different versions. So you basically see the game evolve as you go. I think the developer did a clever way to explain how certain mechanics work with the help menu. Like after you got like a big, like a item, he created a help screen, like explaining like how the item work, how this and that, how you use your SP points, like all on the same screen without giving you a bit tutorial, like a battle tutorial, whatnot. I think that was a clever way, to teach new players.
You mean the tutorial pop-ups, like when you have your first level up and stuff like that?
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, that's a basic tutorial. That's how you do it normally. Like in a game like this, where it's all about gameplay, you don't need like page-long text explaining everything in the utmost detail and with too many words. It's not necessary.
Yeah.
So this was done well. It popped up when it was necessary, when it was needed, and didn't just dump a whole bunch of text at you when you start the game.
Exactly. And
that's how you do a tutorial. You show the tutorial when it's relevant, and not just anywhere and then just at the start of the game or whatever.
Exactly.
That's not how tutorials work.
Exactly. Like we could be here all day on mechanics, but it's a lot of neat mechanics in this game that you gotta respect. You know what I mean? Like, and one of them is just why I just picked up the divination crystal, which was an item that you could use on map before your battle, and it tells you the enemy's weakness and stuff like that, and their skills. I think that's really crucial, especially in a game like this, because
I did not use it.
I did, especially
screw that. Just annihilate them. Fuck weakness.
Because the reason why I used it, because I used, I got the magician build, and I had certain spells. I had certain spells with limited resources. So I wanted
mages being hard.
I wanted to know, what the weakness was for each boss, so I could choose. And the good thing about it, you get to keep talking to the enemies and see their weaknesses until you get into a battle. That's why I like, you get to choose who you want to fight and when you want to fight. You know what I mean? Instead of the enemy just coming up to you and you're getting in the battle and stuff like that, because you cannot escape in this game. You cannot escape. Once you're in battle, you're in battle. And sometimes the enemies cheese in this game too. Like they cheese. They cheese. They really cheese. But It's Soul Survivor. You know what I mean? A first person. Is it first? Yeah, first person battle system.
Yeah, front view is what they call it. Front
Yeah,
view and
front view. But it's done right though. It's a front view battle system, but it's done right. You know what I mean? Like
a big part of why the front view is not annoying in this game is because battles are quick. Right? They have a little action going. Like the enemies are jumping forward. Right? It's not actually the battle system in this game is not actually a front view system. It's actually a side view system, faking front view. You can see it at some points. For example, if you use a healing spell, there's still this little arrow icon where your character would normally be, but there's nothing, right? It's a side view battle posing as a front view. Essentially, they made the actor invisible and placed it in the middle of the screen, on the bottom half of the screen, and made him invisible and removed the shadow. And that's how they have this action system, like the enemies jumping forward. That's because it's side view. They can use action sequences.
I never knew that. I never knew that.
Front view sprites and using pretty much, I'm pretty sure, action sequences to make them jump forward. And yeah, but you can see it a little bit that it's a fake front view. But
I have to say this, man. For now on, y'all front view developers, y'all need to use this mechanic because it definitely revived the front view battle system. Because I'm trying to tell you this, you know what I'm saying? You need action. You need some action going on in your front view battle system. Just fighting still enemies and stuff like that is boring. You know what I'm saying? It's boring. This game I enjoyed because one, it got awesome music. The music is catchy. You know what I'm saying? Like I can hum the music right now, and that's how good it is. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
You don't like the music?
I liked the most part of the music, but it wasn't too catchy for me. Like,
you
it was
crazy, bro.
Yeah, man. And the music in that crypt, oh my god, I was almost muting the game. That crypt music was not good.
Man, you crazy on this one, bro. I disagree. I disagree with the Germinator.
With the long ass fucking notes all the time. Like, oh my god, get that high pitched noise out of my ears, man.
It's a crypt. You gotta be scared up in there. You gotta be terrified. That's the only way they can do it.
I did not like that track. The rest of the music was okay though. Like, it was fitting, but it's not like I can hum this tomorrow type of music. I don't think so.
I thought the music was pretty good. It fit the scene. It fit the scenes and everything.
It did.
I don't remember it enough to hum it though, personally.
That's exactly what I was trying to say.
Man, come on, man.
This crazy guy. He already got it memorized.
Dope, bro. I don't care what nobody said. That's my jant. That's my jant right there. Chris Williams, aka Moogle Rampage, great job, my guy. Great job on the music selection. I don't care what nobody said. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it was good. Like, except for the run track, it was good enough. Like, it was a good music choice. It did fit the battles. It did fit the scenes. But it's not like nah, man, I can't hum it. I already forgot about it, and I just played the game. I stopped playing the game 5 minutes before the podcast. But I don't remember the music.
Oh man! So another mechanic in this game, Soul Survivor. I believe there's after you finish an area, after you finish, the main boss, you go to a new area. And when you go to that new area, you can be on level 7. You can have all the good gear. You can have all the money in the world. You can have 1,000,000 coins. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you go to the next area, you lose all your money and you lose all your coins.
And you lose all your passives and everything. It's
Yeah.
essentially like dying. Like if you die, you lose everything, but you get to keep 3 things, whatever it may be,
Yeah, you
either
get to keep
skills
3
or
things.
items.
Yep.
So changing area is like dying. And I already told the guy, like, this is a major quit point for me. Like, if I play a game and I'm having a good build going, like that's what you try in roguelike games, right? You're trying to get an awesome build going that's just absolutely annihilating the enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to that point, like, I had a build going, I was a walking fucking tank. Like, stuff could barely even touch me, right? And I had a great time and everything. I was breathing through the boss, and then all of a sudden a new area starts, and I'm starting at level fucking 1.
Yeah.
And lost all my shit.
Yeah.
And I get to keep 3 things as I
Yeah.
did die.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Because your soul survived.
Yeah, but I what the fuck, man?
I'm like, hey, look. When that first happened to me, I'm like, bro,
Right.
like, and you
Right.
fight level 1 enemies too. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
what's the
it's essentially
point?
a big reset, like, and it makes no sense. Like, you get to keep 3 things of the things you already acquired. So what's the point of this mechanic? You can't go and just change builds now, because maybe try a mage. You can't do that because all the items and all your skills are not mage centered.
I think
what
the
do you do?
developer is messing with the player's mind when he does that. You know what I mean? Because, you know, you, like you say, you went in there as Conan the Barbarian. You know what I'm saying? You're hacking and slashing everybody. But now,
Absolutely, man.
once you lose everything, your game comes down. You like, oh man, what I'm supposed to do now? You gotta make a decision of your life to choose 3 of your best items. You could have 9 good items, but now you gotta choose 3 of them, and the ones that you choose may not even be your you know, that made your player as good as they were. And given how this game is, depending on what you choose and what you keep, can affect your potential build in that area, because you don't have the requisite to either blow the wall or get something high or make a jump, because your agility is low and stuff like that. So, you know, it's like starting over from scratch.
Yeah, you get to keep 3 things again, and it makes no sense. Like,
Or you just hit F5.
yeah, that's Alt F4 is what I almost clicked when that happened. Like, it makes no sense from like a gameplay perspective. Like, you're giving me a game about choices, and I carefully weighed my options for the entire level to get where I'm at right now, and then you just take it all away because reasons, I guess. And now I have to start over. Like, what was the point of me doing all that if it just gets taken away?
Well,
Like,
I could see it to some extent. It's a mechanic that makes the loss feel real, you know, in the game. You know, there's some elements of that in other games that work.
Or it could be a curse.
I mean, it could have any reason lore-wise, but gameplay-wise, it's just frustrating. There's no positive side to that mechanic.
I love it.
You lying.
I
Well,
love
if you
it.
start-
I
if you start-
love it.
If you start over and you're able to keep 3 things, then one of those 3 things might have been a very significant item, and then when you are playing over again, you will likely, by the time you get to the point where you died last time, you'll likely be stronger than you were. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but that's a death mechanic.
This
That's
is
alright.
this is what I feel he did. Why he did it. I could be wrong.
That's
So
exactly my point, though. Like,
so-
dying like that is okay, But this happens if you reach the next chapter. If you go from level 1 to level 2, you lose all your shit. For no reason.
Okay, so it's not. So this happens even if you don't die.
Yeah, you don't die. Like you finish all 6 areas of the first chapter, and then you get to chapter 2, and that's where you lose all your shit, just like that, just because.
Then again in chapter 3.
And the same thing again.
But isn't that maybe it's leading to the point where all of the characters will be in the same spot by the end?
What do you mean all of the characters? It's just you? You're the sole survivor.
Okay, so what happens to the first character once they get through all the levels?
You keep the same character through the whole game.
Yeah, you progress the story. You don't die or anything.
Yeah. If you die,
shit for no reason.
If you die 3 times, then if you pick normal mode, you die 3 times, it's official game over.
Game over, yeah. When you die, it's the same thing. When you die, you get to keep 3 things.
Right,
That's
but you said that this happens even when you complete the level or chapter.
Exactly. You go through 6 areas, you beat the boss of the area of the first chapter, first episode, whatever, and then you go on to the next chapter, and you lose all your shit.
Interesting.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Like, it's not not enough of a reset to try a different build, right? Because you get to choose 3 of the things you already have. So I was going with a tank build, so all options I had were tank stuff, tank passives, tank items. So I couldn't go for a different build this time because all my stuff was tank stuff. So essentially all I could do was trying to pick the most important things and try to regain what I had lost for no reason. Stuff I worked for, I played for an hour or whatever, I earned this. And then it gets taken away because I don't know why.
Technically, it's not taken away. You just choose not to get that item again.
And then I had 20 passive skills and 12 items. I can only pick 3.
But I do agree. I do agree with you because I had the great axe with cleave. I was killing enemies.
I was absolutely balling this game until that point.
Then I forgot
all
to
my
pick
shit,
it.
and then I died to the Goblin King because I had nothing.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Do you remember how in Tiki's Escape I take levels away from the player? Right? And in that game, the player didn't even earn these levels, right? They start at level 30. So it's not really taking away anything they worked for, and people were pissed about that. And then you play this game, and you work for all your shit for over an hour, and then it just gets taken away. That is infuriating.
I'm pretty sure the developer thought about this and kind of was
I don't know what he thought, but it's too late now. Like, he can't change it anymore because removing that setting would need a massive rebalancing of everything that's not chapter 1.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not going to happen. It's not going to change no matter how much we rant about it. But this mechanic makes no sense to me. There's no positive part of it, and it's just frustrating for no reason. There's no upside to it.
I don't think it's too frustrating because, I mean, as a player,
and you don't play roguelike games a lot. Right?
I do play roguelike. I do. Like, once you die, you lose everything. I understand.
Yeah, but that's on you because you died. You sucked at the game.
Yeah.
And that's why you lose your shit. In this game, you are good, you are skillful, you finish the chapter, and you lose your shit. Okay. Regardless. What the fuck? Why? That is frustrating.
Yeah, you got a valid argument there, but maybe I mean, but at the end, you're going to get better gear anyway.
You're going to catch up quickly. He told me that, and I experienced it. You catch up quickly. You're going back to where you were and beyond very quickly. You If you take a weapon, for example, like if you had a strong weapon and you chose that, you're steamrolling the enemies in the early stages of chapter 2. Of course, you're gonna catch up quick, but why? Why is this part even in there? Why do I need to catch up? Those are things I earned. Why can I not keep them?
But I can see where this could be a problem too. You pick the enemy. I mean, you pick your unique weapons that you did have, but you get in a fight with an enemy that has crazy magic damage. You know what I'm saying? And crazy agility. And it's like, oh man, you picked the wrong enemy. If you had that gear, you wouldn't die this horrible death.
Exactly, that's how it feels like. Like it's balanced, of course. The mechanic is still balanced. You lose all your shit, but so do the enemies, right? The enemies are back to level 1 too. So it's not unbalancing anything, but it's frustrating because every death in chapter 2 and onwards feels cheap. Yeah. As I said with the Goblin King, I only died to the Goblin King because I didn't have my shit. That's why I died. I didn't die because I suck. Or at least that's how it feels like. It always feels like, oh, I died because I lost all my shit for no reason. And I feel like this cheapens the game a lot for no reason.
Gotcha. That makes sense. It does. It makes a lot of sense from a player perspective, you know, that pretty much played part 1 perfectly. Got the best items, got the best equipment, had all the potions, all the super potions, and that's gone. Like, I understand because, you know, it happens to me, but, you know, that's a mechanic that we could still question, and like you said, it would never get changed because that's pretty much the premises of the game, you know.
So like, do we know what happened to the character after they complete the chapter? Like, I know that you start off with a new character, but
no. You keep the same. Like, if you pick your starting character, you keep that character until the end of the game if you didn't die. So you'll lose everything each new chapter you go into. After 6 areas, you go into a new chapter, then you lose everything. You know, you'll see like a story and stuff. You see like a cutscene with surrender. Then after that cutscene, you'll appear in that area, and you know, you start naked. You gotta pick 3 items. You gotta pick 3 items. You pretty much from the beginning. But there's stronger items you could pick though. You don't choose no new character, nothing like that. You keep the character you had.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah. It's a weird choice. There is no upside to it. No specific design choice or reason why it would be there. It's basically a hard reset, but you get to keep 3 items. Like, there's no reason for it to be there. Why do the enemies need to start at level 1 again? Why can't they just go level 8, level 9, level 10?
See, his design...
Why not just continue my awesome build I worked for? Why do I need to start over trying to regain what I lost?
So I think his design, he wants players to die. He wants players to die and start over because he wants them to explore and get the best equipment. And you got the best equipment, you can start from the beginning and, you know, dominate these enemies and stuff like that. You get more gold to buy more potions, you know, to defeat an area that you couldn't previously defeated. So maybe that was his, you know, his reasons for doing it.
Yeah, but if you want your players to die, then just get rid of the fucking 3 lives and let them start over like a real roguelike game.
Yeah.
But like in any roguelike game, it's your goal to find a broken ass build to fucking obliterate the entire game. Like, that's the appeal of a roguelike game. That's in every roguelike game. Is it that?
And check this out. When you get the game over screen, you are given the option to create a new game plus. So I haven't tested it out yet, but I'm thinking.
Moogle said he needs to clean that. That's not supposed to be there anymore.
Okay, because wouldn't that give you the best items that you had on that run?
I don't know what New Game Plus does, but
I think that's what it do
after every chapter for some reason.
Yeah, even when
he needs to clean it up. Not entirely sure what that means, but apparently it's not as it's supposed to be yet.
Yeah, even when you beat the game, you get the new game plus.
I mean, it makes sense for the end of the game to have that option, but not after chapter 1 or 2.
Yeah, so after the deaths, you shouldn't have to create a new game plus, which makes sense. You know, that defeats the purpose of, you know, being a soul survivor. You know what I mean? Like, not dying. But I
guess every good game has like this one quirk that absolutely makes no fucking sense.
I don't see a lot of people beating this game, to be honest.
I don't know, man. I'm having a killer run. Like as I said, I only died twice, and I would have died only once if I had my shit. But okay.
Well, what I mean by a lot of people, I'm talking about like the average gamer. Like the casual gamer ain't gonna beat this because
I'm not on the first run at least. Like I would assume like at least I think you'd need at least 5 tries to really grasp what the fuck is going on in this game.
Yeah.
Like, that you really need to weigh your choices and work with what you got and what you can find and explore and stuff.
They're gonna cry because they're gonna be like, oh man, I can't keep my items, man. Well, I see this.
That's okay though. Like the premise is okay for it being a roguelike game. That's all right.
Yeah.
If you buy a roguelike game, you gotta be aware that if you die, you fucked.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Like that's okay. But yeah, taking the player earned stuff away mid game for no reason. I don't know. If this was a stranger's game, I would have refunded the game at that point. No doubt about it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, you could definitely see the uniqueness this game has and what the developer has tried to do. You
Absolutely.
know,
I fucking love this game, man.
It got replayability all day long.
Yeah, it's like a roguelike. It's all about your choices and what you make of your character, and it has a lot of replayability and permanent upgrade like it should. It's a really well designed game, and it's really well balanced too. Like Moogle's games are so fucking well balanced, I don't even know how he does it. And all the mechanics he has fit in so well together, like, but it's still easy to understand, right? The effects of the passives and everything like that is very easy. It's very basic. Like this gives you more defense, this gives you more of that, but the interaction between all those mechanics work really well while still being easy to understand. Like it's not a game where you need to write a fucking doctor's essay or some shit like that to understand what the fuck is happening.
Mm-hmm.
You understand this game as you start playing it. There's nothing confusing about it. It's very clear. Everything is very clearly described how it works. There's not really a lot of room for speculation. It all just works as advertised, and that's what makes it great for me, because I hate reading endless fucking tutorials and having to have a master's degree in game design to even understand the mechanics of the game.
Yeah,
that's not what I'm signing up for. I want to have fun in my games. I don't want to fucking study a game. That's not what I want to do when I buy a game.
True.
So that's really well done in this game. It's very simple in nature, but it's still complex enough that your choices matter for everything. Every item you pick, every skill you learn, it all matters, and you can feel the impact of everything.
Oh yeah. Especially oh man. Like I pretty much want to make sure my defense is up, everything. Like especially the most important thing you could definitely learn is you know, the treasure hunter one, the one you get the extra item for each treasure.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, that's perfect one. Oh my god.
Every choice is absolutely viable.
Yeah.
And speaking of defense, that's a special case too. Like, how many RPG Maker games did you play where you actually went for defense? Like, everyone who's playing RM games is always more attack.
Yeah.
Nobody needs defense because dead enemies don't hurt you. So in this game, defense actually is useful.
Yeah.
Right? It's so well balanced that you can actually go with a defensive build and win the game without it being boring.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. This guy's balancing is just so on point. It's impressive.
Yeah, and especially certain enemies, like if you got high defense, this guy ain't gonna do no damage to you. But if your magic defense is suck, then you're done.
And I was afraid of magic enemies in the first area because I didn't have a lot of magic defense. I was like, nah, I think I'm gonna fight the big ogre guy instead. That's gonna hurt me less.
Yeah,
everything is useful in this game, and that's great.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like you just equip an item and suddenly everything deals 0 damage. You work towards it, right? So you get a level up and you get these 3 little skill points, and every level feels awesome because these 3 skills you learn, they have a big impact. Like, you go from getting damaged, and then you learn 3 like defense, HP, and magic defense skills, and suddenly you're just steamrolling because they can't even touch you, and it feels awesome. Like, seeing that little 0 pop up on some enemies, that's just awesome.
Yeah.
And you worked for it. It's not like you just found an OP item. No, you worked for it. You leveled up, you chose the bigger enemies and the harder fights so you get more XP. So you work for everything, and everything feels good.
Exactly. Like this. Go ahead, Psychronic. Go ahead.
Yeah. I did enjoy. I mean, like that was probably the part I enjoyed the most about the game was the skill system.
Yeah, man. I love the passives, man.
Yeah, me too. And I ended up doing a monk who was high in defense and TP generation, but also what was I forgot what I was gonna say. But I had it was decently, I was able to get through most of the maps that I was playing pretty easily, but then I did end up fighting an enemy that was for me the problem was when there was multiple enemies, and for the most part though that's where I had an issue. You take on like the higher level ones that were one of them, but then I would use enfeeble to make them weaker, and then they were able to be defeated. So I don't know, it's just interesting that we all kind of played it a little bit differently.
That's a cool thing about, like, we play completely differently. Like, D7 went with his mage guy, of course, and the elemental weaknesses, and you did a debuff build from the sounds of it, and I just went straight up damage and defense. Like, I had 1 tech skill, and I had like 1 heal spell, so my MP wouldn't be wasted, and that's just what I did. I just did attack until I had enough TP, and then I had this massive overwhelm TP's tech skill, and that's how I killed my enemies. I didn't care about any weaknesses or whatever. I just fucking annihilated them.
Oh man, the TP skills you learn later on. Oh my god!
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about this game. Every build is fucking viable. Like, every possible way of playing just works. Like, you can make it work.
Yeah. Like whatever build you on, but sometimes you may gotta change your build. Like, I found one weapon, it gave me so much attack, my mage became a warrior. I ain't lying. Like,
I had that moment too, and I was in chat with Mugen, and I was like, I have this whip, right? It has like 18 attack or whatever, or 16, and then I found a staff that had like I don't know, 19 attack, and I was like, do staffs actually deal physical damage, or is the attack set useless? But yeah, he said it's a better weapon. If you use the attack move, it's going to be physical damage.
Yeah.
And he said he put it that way so mages attack wouldn't be just useless, right? So if you play a mage in a regular RPG, your attack is usually useless. Like most of the time you deal 0 damage.
Yeah.
Because your attack is so low that it's useless. It's unusable.
Yeah, it makes
and
sense.
he didn't want to do that, so he put some attack on that too.
Yeah, and you could run out of ether fast in this game.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Exactly. And it's expensive to buy. You know, It gets higher as soon, further as you go. Even in the early areas, ether is like 400 gold.
Yeah, man. I had such a cool build going, man. I had I had an item that gave me 1 MP every time I blocked a skill, so I took all the fucking block passives too, and I never ran out of MP, and I could heal myself, and then I finish that level, and then I lose everything, man. Oh no.
Oh man.
Man. Oh god, man. That was
developer. You know better. You know better.
I had the coolest paladin build going. I was a wall of defense, and I could heal myself, and I was running with a stun build too. Like I had a stun skill. I would just stun the enemy, and I had the passive that would extend the duration for an extra turn too.
Yeah.
So I was out there stunning people and just slicing them apart, and if I needed it, I just healed myself. Because the regeneration spell I found is fucking broken too. It costs 1 MP, and you can use it on map too.
Yeah.
So you can use it for 1 MP and then just run around the map until it runs out and heal you every few steps.
Oh wow!
So you need 2 MP to completely heal yourself.
Yeah, I didn't notice. I didn't notice that with the regen spell.
Yeah, that works. That works. I mean, it takes a little bit more time. It's a little cheese, of course, but I mean, why not?
Maybe the developer knew that attention.
Yeah, I told him about it, but yeah, I came to the same conclusion. A little bit of cheese in the game is not necessarily a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We all love broken shit if we find it.
All right, so I mean, guys, you can see it for yourselves, man. The game is cleverly made. Just like every game is not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. You're going to have some things the player likes. You're going to have some things the player don't like. I mean, that goes for every game.
Yep.
So I do recommend this though. I do recommend you guys download this game and play it for yourselves. I think you will have a blast with it. It is a free game that I know. It's free.
It's a free demo. It's not going to be a free game as far as I'm aware. But yeah, not only download it, go on Steam and wishlist it. Give the guy a little boost for the Steam algorithm. Give it a wish list,
So it's going to be more than this, more than this.
I don't know what it is. If this is the finished version, I'm not sure. I don't know. But there is a Steam page, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a free game.
Okay. So I mean, while you can play it now, you could definitely get some
we got a special version. The Steam and itch demo are just the first chapter.
Oh, I feel so.
We got the full game essentially.
I feel blessed. You're gonna get some hours in this game. You're gonna get enough run. You're gonna get enough gameplay in this game, especially trial and error.
If you like roguelike games and shit like that, man, you're gonna have a blast with this.
All right, so I mean, there's more mechanics that I could speak on, but we don't want to give you guys too much of a spoiler. You could definitely hear from my tone that we enjoyed it. You get frustrated or you could love it. It is what it is. So
I mean, it has a frustrating mechanic with that, but I mean, every game has this one quirk that's super annoying, but we still love the game, right?
Exactly. So, we got some love and hate for the music, so we're not gonna really elaborate on the music, but the music is gonna put you back in that area where you love the NES. Yes. You're gonna love the music.
I agree with that. It's fitting for the era. It could be a game on the NES. I agree with that. It's just not not the type of music that's so good you're gonna hum it while taking
Disagree.
a bath. I don't
Disagree.
think it's that good.
Listen
But
to
it's
the
good.
battle, guys. Download the game and listen to the battle theme. Just don't even hit the button. Just listen to the battle theme, and you will fall in love immediately.
Man,
You will fall
I
in
don't
love.
know, man. I don't know.
These guys don't know good music when they hear it.
Man,
So
I can still play
still
Ocarina
think-
of Time's Windmill song to this day.
they still
But I
think
cannot remember the battle theme of Soul Survivor.
they like you crazy. I love Soul Survivor. I love the music. I love it. And
I love
I
the
haven't
game
been
too, but you know.
All right, so I'm gonna ask the guys, like I'm just be fair and honest with them. What's their total experience with the game? Like, how did this game, affect you as a player and maybe as a developer? How did this game have any effect towards you in that asset?
No, I don't think it had an effect, but like for me, because for me, I liked the game, I enjoyed it, but also at the same time, this isn't necessarily my type of game because like I'm really into story, like that's like
I expected that at least.
But it is mechanically fun, and it's kind of show, to me it kind of illustrates what you can do in a like what you can implement in a really simple way that gives the player a lot of gameplay choice and it not just like a railroad track where everything's the same no matter who plays the game. So like this, I thought that part was really cool, and I think that can be taken note of and implemented.
Yeah, I mean we're living proof of that. Like we did 3 completely different builds in our playthrough.
Gotcha.
Completely different.
So streamers out there, definitely let's see how you survive in this game. I would definitely love to see some of you guys actually stream this game and see how far you get. Like really check it out. Really.
My first run.
Yeah. So
I'm still on my first run and I'm in the last area. I'm gonna do it.
Let's go.
But yeah, as I would also not really say the game has like affected me as a developer. I mean, I really respect Moogle for what he does. Like his balancing and also the writing, not so much in this game, but in the Jam game he did for the Herald Jam, like the writing he does is really good. And the balancing is so much on point, I've not seen it anywhere else.
Oh yeah,
so
congrats.
I have a lot of respect for that guy and for his game designs and what he does. And
yeah.
I chat with him regularly too. Like he's like my dude I'm running my game ideas by, because
yeah,
he's able to give you opinions without being too opinionated about it. Like he's able to get his head into your game and give you advice based on that, and not advice based on how he would make a game. Yeah. That's a great skill to have.
Yeah, and one of the benefits of being in a great community of RPG Maker, especially as a developer, you don't really have a lot of knowledge, or you could be stuck, somewhere in your own project. It's always good to have, friends in the community. So definitely, get out there and support each other work and, just socialize. All right, so we at the point of the podcast where we put a price on this game. If it was a commercial game and we saw it on Steam and we played the demo and stuff like that, what is a price that we will be comfortably pay for, or maybe suggested? Let's start with Psychronic.
Well, from what it is, and what it it seems like let me think. I'd probably say like $9.99.
All right, $9.99.
Well,
That's hot. That's good for Psychronic. That is awesome. That is awesome. All right, resident German, what do you price this?
I'm gonna buy this game at $15.
$15.
Absolutely.
My
And
goodness.
with all the choices and the unlockables and the replayability, man, I'm getting like at least 200 hours in this, no problem. I'm gonna easily pay $15 for that. Easy.
All right, so this game has a lot. It's a small game. It's 300 some megabytes, 400. It's a small game, packaged game, but it's so much you can do. It's so much replayability. You could play different classes. You could find all the champion medals, all the maps. There's so much you can do, other than just playing the main story. Like there's so many things to achieve. You're gonna get a lot out of this game, and I'm trying to tell you, this is a really good game. This is a really good game, and the developer did a really great job on this game. So I agree with Harlequin. I will price this at $14.99.
And if he makes a DLC, I'm gonna buy that too.
Yeah, DLCs definitely. I could definitely see DLCs.
Yeah, but like an extra chapter or two, man, I'm gonna buy that too, no problem. I don't even think about it.
But I think there's going to be DLCs, because remember when you start the game, after you pick your characters, you click on Soul Survivor. Like at the
there's
end,
a different mode. Yeah, I don't think it's a DLC.
No. What I'm saying, you pick your story mode. You pick the story or whatever mode you pick. After you pick your character and after your weapons and stuff, there's it just says Soul Survivor. It seemed like you could put extra stuff under it.
There's gonna be another mode in the fullback.
Okay, gotcha.
As far as I know, I don't quite remember what it was. Was it like a true roguelike mode or some shit? I don't remember, but he already told me there's gonna be another mode.
Okay, so you got all the bells and whistles from the developers themselves. Nice. Nice.
I'm trying.
All right, so the total price is $39.98 divided by 3. So this game averaged out to be $13.32. So you could easily price this $15. I think it'll do well. You may have those individuals who like graphic stuff, like, oh man, $15 for an 8-bit looking game. I don't think so. I'm
that type of guy anyway. I'm not really into pixel games, but
I ain't gonna pay.
But so well done. What can I say?
You gotta play this game to like it. To like it, you got to play this game to understand why we think $10 plus to $15 is truly worth it. It is truly worth it, guys. It is truly worth it. Chris Williams, Runelight Owl, thank you for stopping by. He said he got to head out, but that keep grinding. I love your titles, man. Even the ones you trusted. Aether, I believe it was Moon and Aether, that game, and your Game Jam game was excellent. Congratulations on placing at a good rank in that game. Was it first place?
Should be first place, yes.
Yeah, congratulations, man, for the Hero Jam winning that,
and not for the first time either.
Yeah. So definitely, you're a true inspiration to all developers, and after watching the credits, you have some amazing developers that help you with the game. So definitely keep grinding and keep shining. So before we head out, guys, we would like to invite you guys who are not part of the RTP Rarely Typical Player Discord. You could definitely hit the link in the description. where we welcome you with open arms. We talk about RPG Maker games, our games in general. We actually help each other with with the projects. We also have some optimization tools, to secure your game, to have people from stealing your assets that you work hard and paid for by yours truly, Ace of Aces. So definitely come out and see all the other tools that we have that can help your game frame rates, can help your game run better. And we also have shops where we have Harlequin doing his mapping shop, and we got artists in the Discord as well. So a lot of things going on in that Discord, guys. But not only if you're just a person that not even a developer and you just want to come and hang out, you definitely are welcome to come hang out and talk with us and see projects. And also, if you want the RTP podcast to play your game, definitely you could put your game in the game request forum, where we spin a wheel after every 3 picks. We spin the community wheel and we choose your game. So it may come, we may play your game on your first pick. You don't know. You don't know. But yeah, we hope to see you guys there. Rarely Typical Player, I did ask to rate the game. We got 11 votes. 36% says excellent. The game is excellent. 55% says the game is above average, and 9%, whoever said that, says average. So definitely the game is above average. It's above average game. So yeah.
It's not often that it happens that the chat rates a game below our rating, though.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So we ain't see no poor yet. We ain't see poor yet since I started the poll. So great job, guys. Great job. So before we head out, do any of my co-hosts has anything to say?
No, I'm just glad to be here, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
All right. What about
that's gonna be your shtick going into the future, isn't it?
Yep.
Psychronic is just happy to be here.
That's right.
I mean, you already covered everything. Like, you advertise the Discord, you advertise the game, you advertise everything. I'm gonna hire you for my marketing campaign. How's that?
Exactly.
I give you a free key. Is that enough payment? Mm-hmm. I give you some exposure too.
Hey, look, I'm gonna do a video. A personal video on how you supposed to play. Hey, a streamer. Like, what's the correct way to pay a streamer? Because some people are misconstrued on how to pay the streamer. But man, like always, you guys have made it excellent. Thank you, Bird Bunch. Thank you, Cola Coco. Thank you, Chris Williams, Javalian, Riggy. Thank you, Vic, for showing up. Let Vetsis, thank you for showing up. And Padre and the Real Tron and Bird Bunches. Thank you guys for just making, streaming these games memorable. I do apologize. I haven't been streaming personally. I know I said this all the time, but I have my reasons. I haven't forgot about you guys. You guys are definitely in my hearts. And until the next podcast, we will see you later. Peace out. See ya.
Wouldn't want to be ya.